Academic, Chapter 10. Excuse me, Mr. Nagy, I cannot really concentrate with Lisa and Rose passing notes over there. Mia was attempting to distract attention from herself as well as from her inability to answer Mr. Nagy's question, and it was running what had otherwise been a promising day. A few of the Fox rumors still circulated, but most people wanted to talk about Christians attacking Ralph. I still had not cleared Christians of the Fox incident. I was pretty sure he was psycho enough to have done it was some crazy sign of affection for Lisa, but whatever his motives, he had shifted the attention of her, just as he said. Mr. Nagy, legendary of his ability to humiliate students by reading notes aloud, homed in on us like a missile. He snatched the note away, and the excited class settled in for a full reading. I saw on my groan, trying to look as blank and unconcerned as possible. Beside me, Lisa looked like she wanted to die. My, he said, looking the note over. If only students could write this much in their essays. One of you has considerably worse writing than the other, so forgive me if I get anything wrong here. He cleared his throat. So, I saw just last night, begins the person with a bad handwriting, to which the person is, what happened? Followed by no fewer than five question marks. Understandable since sometimes one, let alone four, just won't get the points across, yeah? The class laughed, and I noticed Mia throwing me a particularly mean smile. The first speaker responds, what do you think happened? He hooked up in one of the empty lungs. Mr. Nagy glanced up after hearing more giggles in the room. His British accent only added to the hilarity. May I assume by his reaction that the use of hookup permits to the more recent, shall we say, carnal application of the term than the tamer one I grew up with? More sneakers ensued. Started straightening up. I said boldly, yes, sir, Mr. Nagy, that could be correct, sir. A number of people in the class laughed outright. Thank you for the confirmation, Miss Hathaway. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. The other speaker then asked us, how was it? The response is, good. With a smile face, to confirm said adjective. Well, I suppose kudos are in order for the mysterious J. So, like, how far did you guys go? Ladies? Said Mr. Nagy. I do hope this does not surprise a PG rating. Not very. We got caught. And again, we are shown the severity of the situation. This time, though, the use of a not smiling face. What happened? Dermot showed up. He threw Jesse out and then bitched me out. The class lost it, both from hearing Mr. Nagy says bitched and from the finally getting more partitions named. Why, Mr. Zillox, are you the after mentioned J, the one who earned a smiley face from the slopey writer? Jesse's face turned beet red, but he don't look entirely displeased at having the exploit made known it in front of his friends. He could kept what had happened as a secret thus far, including the blood talk, because as I suspected, Drummond had scared the hell out of him. Well, I applaud a good misadventure as much as the next teacher whose time is utterly wasted. Do remind your friends in the future that my class is not a chat room. He toasted the paper back onto the Lisa desk. Miss Hathaway, it seems there is no feasible way to punish you, since you are already maxed out of penalties around here. Ergo, you, Miss Dragmorai, will serve two detentions instead of one of the behalf of your friend. Stay here when the bell rings, please. After class, Jess found me, an uneasy look on his face. Hey, about that note, I don't have anything to do with that. If Bullock finds out about it, you will tell you will tell him, no, I don't. Yeah, I interrupted him. Don't worry, you're safe. Standing with me, Lisa watched him walk out of the room, thinking of how easily Dermot had thrown him around and of his apparently cowardice. I could not help but remark, Jess is suddenly not as hot as I used to think. She only laughed. You could better go. I have got discuss to wash. I left her, heading back for my dorm room. As I did, I passed a number of students gathered in small clusters around the building. I regarded them wistfully, wishing I had the free time to socialize. No, it is true, I heard a confident voice says. Camila Conta, beautiful and popular from one of the most prestigious family in the Contant clan. She and Lisa had sort of been friends before we left. In the uneasy way, two powerful forces keep an eye on each other. They like clean toilets or something. Oh my god, her friend said. I could die if I was Mia. I smiled. Apparently, Jess had spread some of the stories I had told him last night. Unfortunately, the next overheard conversation shattered my victory. Here it was still alive, like twitching on her bed. This was gross. Why could they just leave it there? I don't know. Why kill it in the first place? Why think Ruff was right? You think Ruff was right? That she and Rose did it to get kicked. They saw me and shut up, squalling. I sculled off across the quandle. Still alive, still alive. I refused to let Lisa talk about the similarities between the fox and what happened to 2 years ago. I don't even want to believe they are connected, and I certainly don't want her to either. But I don't been able to stop thinking about the incident. The not only because I was chilling, but because I really did reminded me of what had just happened in her room. We had been out in the woods near campus over evening, having skipped out of one of our class. I have trapped a pair of cute rhinoceros stud scandal to Abby Bagdick for a bottle of peach scapners, despite, yes, but you did what you had to in Montana, which she could somehow gotten hold of. Lisa had shaken her head in disapproval when I suggested cutting classes to go put the bottle out of its misery, but she could come along anyway. Like always, we have found an old log to sit on near a scampy green marsh. A half moon cast a tiny silver of light on us, but it was more than enough for vampires and half vampires to see by. Passing the bottles back and forth, I grilled her on Aaron. She fessed up that the two of them had sex the weekend before, and I felt a surge of jealousy that she could be the one to have sex first. So, what was it like? She just and took another drink. I don't know. It was not anything. What do you mean it was not anything? Did the earth move or the plants align or something? No, she said something of course not. I don't really get why that should be funny, but could tell she don't want to talk about it. This was around the time the bond had been forming, and her emotions were starting to creep into me now and then. I held up the bottle and glared at it. I don't think this stuff is working. That is because there is barely any alcohol in. The sound of something moving in the brush came from nearby. I immediately shot up, putting my body between her and the noise. It is some animal, she said when a minute went by in silence. That don't mean it was not dangerous. The school ward kept out Strigoi, but wild animals often wandered into the outskirts of the campus, posing their own threats, bears, courageous. Come on, I told her. Let's head back. We don't gone very far when I heard something moving again and someone stepped out in the path. Ladies, Miss Crap. We froze, and whatever quick reaction I could shown back by the marsh disappeared as I delayed a few moments in hiding the bottle behind my back. A half smile crossed her face and she held out her hand. Sheepishly, I gave the bottle to her and then she tucked it in her arm. She turned without another word and we followed, knowing there could be an consequence to deal with. You think no one notices when half a class is gone? She asked after a little while. Half a class? A few of you apparently choose today to skip, but must be the nice weather. Spring fever? Lisa and I turned along. I could never been comfortable around Miss Crab since the time she could heal my hands. Her weird pattern behavior had taken on a strange quality to me, a lot stranger than before, scary even, and lately I could not look at her without seeing those marks by her forehead. Her deep red hair, usually covered them, but not always. Sometimes there was new marks, sometimes the old ones faded to nothing. A wheeled, a weird fluttering noise sounded to my right. We all stopped. One of your classmates, I imagine, murmured Miss Crab, turning around the sound. But when we reached the spot, we find a large black bird lying on the ground. Birds, the most animal, don't do anything for me, but even I had to admire its silk feather and fierce beak. It could probably pick someone's eye out in the 30 seconds if it were not obviously dying. With a last half hearted shake, the bird finally went still. What is that? Is it the crow? I asked. Too big, said Miss Crab. It is Raven. Is it dead? Asked Lisa. I peered at it. Yeah, definitely dead. Don't touch it. Probably attacked by another bird, observed Miss Crab. They fight over territory or resources sometimes. Lisa knelt down, compassion on her face. I wasn't surprised since she could always had a things for animal. She had lectured me for days after I could instigated the infamous hamster and hermit crab fight. I had viewed the fight as a testing of worthy opponent. She could see in it as an animal cruelty. Transfixed, she reached towards the raven. Liz, I exclaimed, horrified. It has probably got a disease. But her hand moved out like she could have not even heard me. Miss Crab stood there like a statue, her white face looking like a ghost. Lisa's fingers stroked the raven's wings. Liz, I repeated, starting to move towards her to pull her back. Suddenly, a strange sensation floated through my head. Yes, wetness that was beautiful and full of life. The feeling was intense. It stopped me in my tracks. Then the raven moved. Lisa gave a small scream and snatched her hand back. We both started wide eyed. The raven flipped its wings, slowly trying to right itself and stand up. When it managed to do so, it turned towards us, fixing Lisa with a look that seems too intelligent for a bird. Its eyes held us, and I could not read her reaction through the bond. At long last, the raven broke the gaze and lifted into the air, strong wings carrying it away. Wind stirring the leaves was the only sound left. Oh my god, breathed Lisa. What just happened? Hell if I know, I said, hiding my start terror. Miss Crab strode forward and grabbed Lisa's arms, forcefully turning her so that they faced each other. I was there in a flash, ready to take action if Crappy Crab tried anything, though even I had qualms about taking down a teacher. Nothing happened, said Mr. Crab in an urgent voice, her eyes wide looking. Do you hear me? Nothing, and you cannot tell anyone about what you saw, both of you. Promise me you won't ever talk about this again. Lisa and I exchanged uneasy glances. Okay, she croaked out. Miss Crab grip relaxed a little, and don't ever do it again. If you do, they will find out. They will try to find you. She turned to me. You cannot let her do it. Not ever again. On the quad outside my dorm, someone was saying my name. Hey Rose, I have called you like 100 times. I forgot about Miss Crab and the raven and glanced over at Manson, who had apparently started walking with me towards the dorm while I was in half in La La Land. Sorry, I murmured. I'm out of it, just tired. Too much excitement last night? I gave him a narrowed look. Nothing I could not handle. I guess he laughed, though he don't exactly sound amused. Sounds like just could not handle it. He did? Okay. If you say so. But personality, I think you have got a bad taste. I stopped working and I don't think it is any of your business. He looked away angrily. You made it in the whole class business. Hey, I don't do that on purpose. Could not have happened anyway. Just got a big mouth. He could not have told. Yeah, said Manson, because he is so cute and has such an important family. Stop being an idiot, I snapped. And why do you ever care? Jealous? I'm not doing it with you? His flesh flushed, going all the way to the roots of his red hair. I just don't like hearing people talk shit about you, that's all. There are a lot of nasty jokes going around. They are calling you a slut. I don't care what they call me. Oh, yeah, you're really tough. You don't need anyone. I stopped. I don't. I'm the one of the best non voice in the fucking place. I don't need you acting all the gallant and coming to my defense. Don't treat me like I'm some helpless girl. I turned around and kept walking, but he caught up to me easily. The worst of being 5.7. Look, I don't mean to upset you. I'm just worried about you. I gave a harsh laugh. I'm serious. Wait, he began. I did something for you, sort of. I went to the library last night and tried to look up Miss Valdemar, Strain Valdemar. I stopped again. You did? Yeah, but there was not much of Anna. All the books were kind of generic. Just talked about him healing people, bringing them back from the edge of the death. The last part hit a nerve. Was there anything else? I stammered. He shook his head. No, you probably need some primary sources, but we don't have any there. Primary what? He scoffed, a smile breaking over his face. Do you do anything but pass notes? We just talked about them the other day in the Andrews class. Your books from the actual time period you want to study, secondary ones, are written by the people living today. You will be get better information if you find something written by the guy himself or someone who actually know him. Okay. What are you, like a boy genius now? Manson gave a light punch in the arm. I pay attention, that's all. You're so obvious. You miss all sort of things. He smiled nervously. And look, I'm sorry about what I said. I was just jealous. I realized. I could see it in his eyes. How had I never noticed this before? He was crazy about me. I guess I really was obvious. It's alright, Mass. Forget about it. I smiled, and thanks for looking that stuff up. He smiled back, and I went inside, sad that I don't feel the same way about him.